Hello, Paul here with Trailagain today, and I've gotten some requests from my subscribers to do a review on a knife. And I've also been asked about a lot of my videos and different things that I'm doing online, what knife I'm generally using. And so today, we are going to do a review of ML Knives Short Survivalist. This is my short-handled Survivalist, and this was a gift from my wife approximately 2 years ago for my birthday, and it has quickly become one of my most prized possessions. I do spend a ton of time out in the woods doing assorted things, and I have found that this knife really exceeded my expectations as far as what I was looking for in an everyday carry fixed blade knife. The knife was made by ML Knives, and Matthew Lesniewski is a custom knife maker out of Hageman, New York. He hand forges and shapes each knife, and each knife is one of a kind and made to order. Wait times can vary depending on his workload, but he's very, very good at communicating when your knife will be ready, and he sticks very true to those times. One thing when I was researching knives, and I found on his website a great quote that his knives are brutally tested, one-of-a-kind steel for the discerning woodsman. And the more I use this knife, the more I can really attest to the fact that these are one-of-a-kind pieces of steel for the discerning woodsman. A lot of thought went into this knife, and I see it and feel it and experience it every time I use it. Because every knife from ML Knives is hand-forged and made to order, I thought I would go over a few of the details that I chose when ordering my short Survivalist. As you can see, I do have a finger guard. I do have hand-filed thumb stops as well. I chose to go with a micarta handle. It has 3 brass pens and a brass lanyard hole. Now, I chose to go with the micarta scales over wood scales just basically because of ease of maintenance and durability. Because micarta is created by layering fabric and impregnating it with resin under pressure, it is almost indestructible. Water, oil, chemicals, cold, the heat, it all has very little effect on micarta, creating a very, very durable scale that you're not going to have to maintain like you would a traditional wood handle. The knife also came with a hand-stitched, full-grain leather sheath. Now, you can see beautiful quality, everything's done. Matthew actually signs and dates each sheath. It has a place for you to put your belt, as well as 2 holes drilled into the sheath so it can be worn around your neck. I just love the quality of it. When I first received it, the sheath was a little bit tighter than it is now. I could tip it upside down and it wouldn't fall out, where now it's just a little bit looser. I'm thinking about just gluing a small piece of leather on the inside here to tighten it up over time. But because the sheath is so deep and the handle rests so far down inside of it, it really does hold the knife rather secure. The blade and tang are forged 1095 high carbon steel. 1095 high carbon steel is very, very wear resistant, and it holds an excellent edge, and it's very easy to sharpen. The drawback to 1095 steel, unlike stainless, is that it does rust rather easily, so it does require some maintenance. My knife gets wet a lot. It's part of the reason why I chose the micarta scales. But what I do is I just tend to, if I get it wet or I'm doing something where there's moisture involved, I come home, wipe the knife off, make sure that I dry my sheath out by separating the two, and then I lightly oil the knife. And I've had excellent results, very, very little issues with corrosion. If you forget one time and you pull your knife out and you see little spots of rust on the surface, don't panic. It hasn't ruined your knife. You could easily take it off with steel wool, but my recommendation would be just go ahead and use it, and the use and the friction and abrasion of whatever you're cutting will take the rust right off the blade. The knife has a 3-inch blade that's 1.5 inches wide where it meets the handle, and it has a 4-inch long handle. One thing that I like the most about the knife is the handle to blade ratio. I do have rather large hands, and I find when grabbing the knife, my pinky still has plenty of purchase to make on the knife, so I'm not worried about my finger slipping off. You can see I can get an excellent grip on the knife without any issues of the handle being too short. One thing to notice about the knife is that the handle is about 1 inch wide where it meets the blade, and it very slightly flares out to 1 1/8 inch where the lanyard hole is. And then if you look at the handle this way, you're looking at a width of about 13/16 of an inch, and it just fits very comfortably in my hand. The tang and the spine of the knife are 1/8 of an inch thick steel. One thing I like a lot about it is the fact that the width of the spine continues almost throughout until about right here, which is a little bit less than 1/2 an inch from the tip of the blade, which gives you that really good strength when you're prying or pushing really hard on the blade. The blade has a really hefty feel to it. It's a very small knife, but it feels very capable despite its size. A couple things to note is as each knife is handmade and made to order by Matthew, there are several options that he offers on his site regularly, and one is the fact that he offers a shorter handle, which is only 3 1/4 inches long, which leaves 3/4 of an inch of the tang exposed, so you can pound on it and hit it without worrying about damaging the scales on the knife. The other options would include, you can get other handles and scales besides the micarta. You can get wood, horn, antler, just depending on what your taste is. And then my blade actually has a patterned aged finish, but he also offers a patterned patina finish, which gives you almost a black blade with some deeper texturing in it. And then he also offers it fully polished, or what he refers to as a clean finish. But all those details are available on his website when you're looking at going ahead and ordering a knife from him. Another thing that I really appreciate about the 1095 steel used on the short Survivalist is the fact that it does work not only with a flint, but with a fire steel, which does make it an excellent option for a survival knife. The knife itself is very controllable. It's very comfortable in your hand. Whether you're making feather sticks to start a fire, because the blade is so short and the handle is so long, you have this unbelievable control. It does help that the knife is rather sharp, but you can see there, very simply make feather sticks with it. You want to carve down larger pieces of wood. You have excellent grip, excellent control. One other thing that I really like about the knife is the fact that the blade's short, but it's an 1/8 inch wide, and it's just very durable laterally. So I know there's a lot of debate on batoning knives, whether or not you should. I typically don't, but I do find that I use my hand quite a bit to start, say if I wanted to split something like this. But because of the thickness of the blade, all I have to do is apply a little bit of pressure and twist to go ahead and split that, and I don't have to worry about it bending or breaking the knife blade. And that's something that I really appreciate about the design. A lot of the time, I'm using the knife to process down firewood to get a fire going in camp. So sometimes it's store-bought wood, sometimes it's wood that I find depending on where I'm at. But the knife is unbelievably capable, no matter what the task is that you want to put it to. And I was carving a kuksa the other day, and it was really my first go at it, and I have some Mora knives and some other type of their hook knives, the regular carving knife, and I use them for most of the project, but I did find that a lot of times I would resort back to this because of the ability to really apply pressure especially when working close to the handle. And it gave me this ability to get these great tight, straight notches. So say you were trying to attach a string or a piece of rope to a pole, just with very little effort you can get a very clean, very controlled notch. Very little effort is put into that. And I just feel that the shorter blade gives you greater control, and because the tip of the blade is as thick as it is and that it continues the width almost to the end, that it's just very durable, and it gives you the ability to pry and pull and twist, and you're not going to worry about actually breaking the blade. So these are some of my favorite things about the ML Knives short-handled or short survivalist. I really hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If there's anything else you'd like to see or know, please let me know, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.